For gamers, early December basically means two things: putting up a cozy Christmas tree in her living room, and gathering the squad to argue about the Game Awards nominees, celebrating the well-deserved picks, while also doing a bit of complaining about whichever game got snubbed this time. And this year's no different. Actually, scratch that. We want to join the chaos too, throwing in our own predictions for 2026's highly coveted Game of the Year lineup. After all, Game of the Year is the most competitive category of the entire event, the one everyone obsesses over, and the one guaranteed to start a few friendly fights in any Discord call. So we decided to imagine what next year's full Game of the Year nominees could look like. And honestly, 2026 is shaping up to be absolutely stacked with heavy hitters. The ones that make our wallets guy and bank accounts break. So we have a pretty interesting video here.
With how big the James Bond movies are, it's kinda strange that we haven't had a 007 game in over 12 years. But that's about to change, because 007 First Light releases next year. The game dives into the origins of the famous spy. You'll discover how James enrolls in the MI6 training program, and you get to play through his first missions. One thing we know for sure: this game is definitely in the hands of the right developers. IO Interactive, the company behind the Hitman series, are taking on this James Bond game. They know how to make an exciting game about secret assassins. If we can believe the first trailers, 007 First Light is bound to be an explosive spy spectacle. We can look forward to another Nioh game in 2026. This time we follow Tokugawa Takechio on his mission to save Japan. This time-transcending battle is mostly set in a big open world. That means there's also a lot more focus on world exploration in between all the fights. In Nioh 3, you can also choose between two different combat styles, Samurai and Ninja. If you go for Samurai, you unlock more high-power techniques. This playstyle is for fighters that like to charge headfirst at enemies and blast them with powerful hits. Prefer a more agile and swift battle, then the ninja combat with nimble dodges and rapid attacks will fit you perfectly. One of the best games that's been released for the PlayStation 5 is Returnal. Good news, because the creators of this roguelite are releasing another game in 2026. Saros builds on their previous game, but this time it's set on a mysterious planet that's dealing with an ominous solar eclipse. Just like Returnal, Solar is based around a time loop. This means you'll have to replay levels endlessly to uncover more hints and solve the mystery. What makes Solar different is that you can take all the weapons you find. This means you'll get stronger with every run, which might hint at boss fights or other battles. Aside from this, Housemarque is keeping the details around this game mysterious, but we can't wait to see what this new roguelite has in store for us. In Crimson Desert, you step into the one of Pywell, a continent filled with magical creatures, mysterious castles, and epic battles. However, this world is taken by war, and it's your job to try to put a stop to this. Can you save Pywell from the impending doom? We've played dozens of open-world RPGs, so what makes Crimson Desert so special? According to the gameplay trailers and the various players who've had the chance to try this game, there's not a single boring moment. The world is a vast, open landscape filled with opportunities. It feels alive, and there's something new to explore at every turn. One day you might fight in a brutal battle, and the next you'll be trying to tame a magical beast for fun. This, paired with small updates like hair collision, draw distance, and dynamic weather, might make Crimson Desert one of the most immersive RPGs yet. It seems that Capcom is going all in for 2026, since it is lining up 3 major releases, and their crown jewel is Resident Evil Requiem, the 9th entry in the mainline Resident Evil saga. And this one feels like a bold new chapter, a clean narrative slate following the end of Ethan Winter's arc, offering first and third-person camera options, I'm already in just for that, and a brand new protagonist, Grace Ashcroft.
daughter of the reporter Alyssa Ashcroft, featured in Resident Evil Outbreak. Its story follows Grace, who is now an FBI agent, investigating a series of mysterious deaths at the same hotel where her mother was murdered in the past. Oh, and the trailer already gave it away that we are going to revisit a special place in every fan's heart, Raccoon City. Add all of that to some rumors pointing to Leon Kennedy making an appearance, and suddenly you've got the biggest revival horror event of the year and a very strong Game of the Year contender.
Yes, we know what you're thinking, and sure, Fable has had a couple of weird delays and updates that made some players worried. But hey, if Hollow Knight Silksong can rise from the ashes 9 years later and in complete silence, then hope for Albion's comeback is absolutely allowed. And I genuinely believe the Xbox Game Studios boss when he says the reboot will be worth the wait. And its trailers have already painted a pretty charming picture. A return to Albion at long at last. Fantasy vibes, cheeky humor, gorgeous views, everything that we expect from a Fable title. So I want to believe Scully, and I'm betting all my fairy magic that this is going to be a game that will surprise everyone when it finally comes out.
Some PlayStation executives have already declared Marvel's Wolverine as the company's big bad for 2026, and Insomniac Games is responsible for it. So how could this not be massive? We're talking about a studio that did an excellent job with Spider-Man and is pouring all of its efforts into its upcoming project, so it is hard not to be excited. That said, Marvel's Wolverine will put Logan, who is undoubtedly a fan favorite for Marvel fans, front and center in a third-person action-adventure with the promise of delivering the ultimate Wolverine fantasy, powered by fast and brutal combat and a gripping story. And judging by the trailer alone, it doesn't seem like they're exaggerating, since it has blood-soaked claw attacks, rooftop jumps, high-speed bike chases, and Logan saying that he ain't no hero. Well, if that didn't instantly win you over, nothing will.
I feel that there is basically an unspoken rule that at least one indie makes it into the Game of the Year category every year. And 2025 just even gave us 2. Yes, I'm still refusing to call Claire Obscure Expedition 33 an indie, but that is a debate for another day. So everything points to 2026 continuing the tradition, and one of the most anticipated indie contenders is Neverway, which can be described as a Stardew Valley fever dream. Basically, it is a slow burn horror RPG where a girl quits her job to start a new life on a farm, only to become the immortal herald of a dead god. No, you didn't miswrite that. According to the developers, we can expect some dynamic cutscenes, plenty of dateable NPCs, yes, branching storylines, and a whole lot of weirdness. Plus, it is co-created by Celeste's pixel artist Pedro Medeiros and scored by Disasterpiece, known for FE, Hyperlight Drifter, and it follows, so it has some Game Awards veterans on board. We might not be getting Bloodborne 2 anytime soon, but From Software is throwing us one heck of a curveball with the Duskbloods, a gothic PvPe experience featuring vampires and directed by none other than Hidetaka Miyazaki. But it also has some surprises with it. For starters, it is not a traditional single-player Soulsborne, since its trailer can make you think that. Instead, it is more multiplayer-focused, where up to 8 players will battle each other and enemies, plenty of bosses of course, to claim something called the First Blood. Second, it is a Nintendo Switch exclusive, which definitely left some players scratching their heads, since this is a first for From Software, and many PlayStation, PC, and Xbox fans will be feeling left out of the whole fun. Even so, everything about it screams potential Game of the Year nominee for having an ambitious premise, Hidetaka on board, and following Elden Ring's trail at the Game Awards.
Let's be honest, no list of potential Game of the Year nominees for 2026 would be complete without Grand Theft Auto 6, right? Developed by Rockstar Games, the title will have a couple of outlaws as protagonists in a very Bonnie and Clyde style and promises a return to a modern-day Vice City, alongside some executives' quotes pointing out that it aims to be a groundbreaking, blockbuster entertainment experience that exceeds audience expectations. And we can already expect everything that we could from a GTA title: a hyper-detailed open world, cutting-edge physics, razor-sharp social satire right under everyone's noses, remarkable characters, and that signature freedom to cause trouble however you want. Some years, predicting a Game of the Year winner feels almost impossible, but with GTA 6 on the list, yeah, we all know how this story probably ends.